Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's downfall sparks new era of royal scrutiny. Crown Estate publishes unprecedented details on royal leases. From peppercorn rents to market rate transparency, the Windsors enter a new age. London, the 3rd of December 2025. The spectacular downfall of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has unexpectedly opened the door to an era of unprecedented royal transparency, with the Crown Estate voluntarily publishing details of private lease agreements for multiple members of the royal family for the very first time. What began as parliamentary questions about Andrew's peppercorn rent on the 30-room Royal Lodge has snowballed into a full-scale review of how the monarchy occupies some of Britain's most valuable properties. On Tuesday, the Public Accounts Committee released a 25-page briefing from the Crown Estate that confirms Andrew paid virtually no annual rent after an upfront £1 million payment in 2003, and is now unlikely to receive any compensation for early termination of his 75-year lease due to extensive dilapidations. But the document goes far beyond Andrew. For the first time in history, the living arrangements of the Prince and Princess of Wales, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, Princess Alexandra, her daughter Marina Ogilvy, and Andrew Mountbatten Windsor himself have been laid bare for politicians and the public to scrutinize. The contrast could not be starker. William and Catherine's new family home, Forest Lodge, was independently valued by two firms, Hamptons and Savills, subject to separate legal advice on both sides, and let on a standard 20-year commercial lease at full open market rent. No favors, no discounts, no inheritance clauses. Edward and Sophie's Bagshot Park lease, renegotiated in 2007, does include a peppercorn element. But the couple are full-time working royals who undertake hundreds of engagements annually and represent Britain abroad, a justification the palace has long used. Princess Alexandra and Marina Ogilvy occupy modest Grace and Favour apartments, with nominal rents reflecting their limited public roles. Andrew's deal, however, stands alone. A 75-year lease signed when he was still a working royal, allowing him to live in a £30 million mansion for what amounted to a few pounds a year, long after he ceased public duties in 2019. The Crown Estate's decision to volunteer these details, rather than wait for compulsory disclosure, has been described by constitutional experts as a quiet revolution in royal accountability. Sir Geoffrey Clifton Brown, PAC chairman, welcomed the transparency, but confirmed a full inquiry will follow next year. There is considerable and understandable public interest in how taxpayer-supported assets are used by the royal family. The information provided forms the basis for further scrutiny. The sovereign grant, currently £132 million, is partly funded by profits from the Crown Estate, which the King surrenders to the Treasury in exchange for 12% returned as royal funding. any perception that non-working royals receive subsidized luxury, while the public pays the bills, has become politically toxic in an age of austerity. Andrew's case has become the catalyst. His refusal to leave Royal Lodge for years, his £3 minus £4 million annual private allowance from Charles, and the revelation of his sweetheart lease have combined to force the monarchy's hand. The king's decisive action, stripping titles, honors, and finally the lease itself, was designed to draw a line under the scandal. But Parliament has now drawn a much wider line. No more secret deals, no more grace and favor opacity. William and Catherine's Forest Lodge arrangement is being held up as the new gold standard. Market rent, independent valuation, fixed term, no succession rights. Sources close to Kensington Palace say the Waleses insisted on this model precisely to avoid any accusation of special treatment when they become king and queen. Even their minor renovations were paid for privately, and they hosted a thank you party at a local pub for the builders who completed the work early. The Duke of Edinburgh's Bagshot Park lease, while still containing peppercorn elements, is likely to come under review during the inquiry, though Edward and Sophie's heavy workload provides a stronger defense than Andrew ever had. Princess Alexandra, now 88 and one of the hardest working royals, for decades, occupies a modest apartment with rent so low it barely registers. The same applies to Marina Ogilvy. Andrew's case, however, remains the outlier, a relic of an era when royal privilege was assumed, not justified. The Public Accounts Committee inquiry, supported by the National Audit Office, will examine decades of similar arrangements and whether they represent value for money in a modern constitutional monarchy. Republicans have seized the moment, calling for all grace and favor homes to be let at market rates or open to the public. Palace sources insist the king welcomes scrutiny. His Majesty has long advocated a smaller, more transparent monarchy. This is the logical extension of that vision. For Andrew, the publication of his lease is the final humiliation. From a 75-year palace for pennies to a modest cottage in Norfolk with no compensation, the fall is complete. But for the institution, it may mark the beginning of a healthier, more accountable future. The Windsor leases are no longer secret. The age of unquestioned privilege is over. A new precedent has been set. Even kings must answer to Parliament when public money and public trust are at stake.